Here's a step-by-step tutorial on how to solve all of the problems on your 1.3, 1.4 quiz review. So the first thing we have to do on problem 1 is we have to distribute. That would give us 2x plus 2 times 4, which is 8, equals negative 5x plus 1. Now you might go in a different order than I do, but you should get the same answer regardless of how you do it. So the first thing I'm going to undo is the minus 5x by adding 5x to both sides, which leaves me with 7x plus 8 equaling 1. So then I have to subtract 8 from both sides. I'm working to get that x by itself. That leaves me with 7x equals negative 7. Then I have to divide both sides by 7, and x equals negative 1. Moving on to problem 2. We again have to get all of our variables together. In this case, I'm going to start out by subtracting 4 s's from both sides. 1/2 s minus 4s would be a negative 3.5 s. I could write it as negative 3 1/2, or I could write it as negative 3.5 s equals negative 21. So then I have to take both sides, divide them by negative 3.5. A negative and a negative gives us a positive. And in this case, s equals 6. On problem 3, I've got to get my z's together on one side, so I'm going to start out by subtracting 4.1z from both sides. So that leaves me with 4.2z's equaling 10.5. So then I have to divide both sides by 4.2. And z equals, let me just quickly calculate, 2.5. Moving on to number 4, we're going to have to distribute on both sides. That gives us 3b plus 15 equaling 8b minus 20. I'm going to start out by adding 20 to both sides. So that leaves me with 3b plus 35 equals 8b. Subtract 3b from both sides in order to get all of my b's on one side. I get 35 equals 5b. Divide both sides by 5, and b equals 7. On number 5, since these two n's are on the same side, I can combine my like terms. N minus n gives me 0, so those cancel off, and I'm left with 7 equaling 4. Well, 7 will never equal 4, so our answer is either written like this, or you could write it out, no solution. The next one I've got to distribute. I have to do 1/4 times 4r minus 1/4 times 8 equals r minus 2. This, I'm going to turn them both into fractions. That gives me 4 over 4r minus 8 over 4 equals r minus 2. That leaves us with 1r minus 2 equaling r minus 2. You'll notice that both sides are the same, so we end up with an infinite number of solutions. On number 9, they want us to solve for the red variable. Since everything's connected by multiplication, I'm going to undo using division. And in this case, v divided by pi r squared equals h, because these cancel off over here, and that leaves us with our variable. Number 10, we've got to get that b by itself. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this multiplication by dividing both sides by 1/2 h. That leaves me with dividing by 1/2 is the same as multiplying by 2, so that leaves us with 2a over h equaling b plus capital B. And then finally I'm going to subtract the b from both sides. So we are left with 2a over h minus b equals b. On problem 11, we wanted to see which temperature was higher. I chose to use this equation, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the degrees Celsius, convert them to Fahrenheit, and then see which one is higher in terms of the Portland or Boston. So F equals 9/5 times 2 plus 32. So that gives me, I'm going to make it 2 over 1, gives me 18 over 5 plus 32, which is 5 3/5 plus 32. That gives me 37 3/5. So it looks like the Portland one is higher. On number 12, it says you begin with $25 in a savings account, and you deposit $5 into that savings account each week. And with the checking account, we begin with $50 and we add $10 each week into the checking. And they want to know after how many weeks is the checking account twice the amount in the savings. So we want to know, when does 2 times the savings equal the checking? And when we distribute, we end up getting 50 plus 5x equals, plus 10x, equals 50 plus 10x. And you'll notice that they're both the same, which means that they are always twice the savings. On number 13, we have the formula I equals P times R times T, and they want us to solve the formula for R. So in order to get R by itself, you'd have to divide by P times T. So I divided by P times T equals R. They want to know what is R if the principal is 1,500, the time is 2 years, and the interest earned is $90. So we have to go through and calculate that out. We're doing 90 divided by 3,000. And we get 0.03, 0.03, or 3%. On number 15, we have to use the formula perimeter equals A plus B plus C. If we want to solve for B, we have to take away A and C from P. And now we want to solve for when we know the perimeter, it tells us in the picture, it's 42, minus A, which is 10, and minus C, which is 17. So we're doing 42 minus 10, which is 32, minus 17, which gives us 15. So B is 15 feet. If you have any questions on this, please email me, sullivana@milton.k12.wi.us.